Greetings, this is the Crunchief, and today I will be doing part 3 to What if Female Deku was Albedo. Now, before we start, I asked in the previous video in the comments about what the ship should be, and here were the results. The winner was by Soulkeeper for Midnight, and I'd thank you for that, and thank you for giving me a name for her quirk. So, Soulkeeper, if you are watching this, I thank you for that. Now, we'll be covering the election for the class representative and the USJ incident, and possibly a little bit of the sports festival. Now, as everybody in 1A is in class, Aizawa comes in and says it is time to vote for a classroom representative. And everybody then begins to vote, and when the votes are tallied up, the class representative is Albedo, and the vice representative is Momo Yaoyorozu. Now, Albedo is quite shocked that she got quite a few votes, because they haven't really known everyone for that long, so it's quite surprising that a lot of people voted for her. Now, we then cut to the cafeteria, where Monoma then bumps into Albedo, like intentionally nudges her back, and just starts going off, showing his egotistical ass, going off that, oh, what isn't Class 1A supposed to be better than us, and all that, where he then proceeds to get chopped in the back of the neck by Kendo. And as Monoma is being dragged away, the alarm goes off saying a level 3 breach has occurred at the gate. Now, as everybody's evacuating out of the cafeteria and panicking, Albedo sees that it is just the press getting into the school. Now, Albedo sees this and notifies both Ida and Uraraka, where Uraraka causes Ida to float, and Albedo then just flings him to where the exit to the canteen is, as he then yells, that is just the press, and if it was the villains, we have pro-heroes on site, and that if we're supposed to be future heroes, and if this is the way we act during a villain attack, then he just says the same things as in canon. And then everybody goes back to what they were doing, and then once they get back, Albedo resigns from her position of classroom president and gives it to Ida. So we move forward a bit to when they are going to the USJ, and since the second layer of Albedo's armor right here is still damaged, she's currently only wearing the plate layer and the liquid skin type bodysuit underneath. Now, once they're traveling to the USJ, Sue starts asking everybody about their quirks, and she asks Albedo what her quirk is, and Albedo says that her quirk is called Succubus, and she explains that it essentially allows her to charm people, and it also allows her to redirect all the damage from to herself onto her armor and use defensive skills as well, and also enhances her strength, speed, and endurance. And everybody is impressed with her quirk, and then Aizawa says, "Alright, we're here, and they walk in, they see the Pro Hero 13. Now, I'm not sure if 13 is a he or she, so I'm just going to refer to them as they. Now, as 13 explains that any quirk can be all quirks can be dangerous and lethal to people, and he explains what they're going to be doing. Kirishima then says, "Wow, we've even got fake villains here." As 13 and Aizawa look down, Aizawa then announces, "Those aren't fake villains, those are real villains. 13, protect the children." As Aizawa then jumps down, and Albedo also jumps down with Aizawa to fight them. Fight the villains with him, saying that it'd be a lot easier if he had some help with him. Now, as they're dealing with the villains, Kurogiri makes it up to where everybody else is at the entrance, and then warps them away to their places they were in canon. So Sue is in the water area, and Albedo is currently helping Aizawa fight the villains. As they're getting through all the villains, Shigaraki then says, "Kurogiri, send in the Nomu." As the Nomu goes to fight Aizawa, and basically, as the Nomu is about to attack, Albedo then uses the Wall of Jericho, but it does stop the punch for a little bit, but as it throws another one, the wall just shatters, as Aizawa is then hit by it and is sent flying into the staircase. Now, the Nomu is now focused on Albedo as it's trying to hit her, but she's just dodging all of the hits that are being flung by the Nomu, until one does end up hitting her, but she redirects the damage to the arm of her armor, which promptly shatters, as she's then sent skidding across the ground. Albedo then stands up and uses the axe that she has to fight the Nomu, and as she brings the axe down and cuts off the Nomu's arm, it regenerates, as Shigaraki says, "You can't kill the Nomu. It has shock absorption, regeneration, and super strength and speed." Now, Albedo takes this into account, as she says, "So it has super strength and speed and regeneration, huh? Well, let's see how it takes this," as she raises her axe up and slams it right into where the Nomu's brain is, killing it instantly. And as that happens, the Nomu falls down dead, and Shigaraki starts scratching his neck, saying, "She cheated, you cheated, you cheated," as he then goes to charge towards Albedo, planning to disintegrate her. But Albedo then grabs both Shigaraki's wrists, dropping her axe in the process, and then squeezing Shigaraki's wrists until a loud crack is heard, where Shigaraki is then screaming out in pain, begging for her to let go, as she then flings him into another villain. And since all 5 of Shigaraki's fingers ended up touching that villain, the villain began to decay and turn to ashes. Now, as this happens, Kurogiri tries to warp albedo away, but she manages to avoid it by flying upwards, and then promptly kicking Kurogiri in the face, almost knocking him out, as then she goes to save Sue from the water zone by grabbing her and then just flying into the air. And as the villains tried to stop her, she then used her axe and swung it downwards, like in a vertical position, as then a whirlpool happens due to the amount of force that hit the ground, as all the villains were then sucked into it, as albedo then he used the wall of Jericho in the creative way of putting it in like a box type formation to contain the villains. And as Kurogiri realizes that they've lost, he says, "Young master, we must escape." As Shigaraki says, "Fine, but we will be back next time, and we'll kill her," as he points towards albedo. Now, everybody else manages to deal with their villains as they did in canon, and then once the pros showed up, they found that all the villains were defeated. Now, due to this incident, everybody is given, I think it was 2 weeks off from UA, but they are told that the sports festival will be happening a week after they come back. So during that time, albedo, Momo, Mina, Shoto, and Kirishima start training with their quirks. Momo and albedo will be training together, and Kirishima and Shoto will be training together, and Mina will be switching between the two, which are albedo and Momo. Now, for some of them, Momo was easy to beat, but albedo was a lot harder due to her being twice as fast as Momo, and twice as strong, and twice as durable. So, and she once got Kirishima in a charm, which she then drop-kicked his ass into the ground. And as that's happening, albedo is also seeing somebody as in like a dating thing. Now, if I remember correctly, this might be a bit weird, but Soulkeeper suggested that albedo be shipped with Midnight. So that's what I'm going to do, and again, thank you for that. So, during her breaks, like the day breaks that they're having, albedo has been going on dates with Midnight. And both of them have gotten pretty close. So, to the point where they are a couple, but that Midnight doesn't want to announce it because that would cause villains to start targeting albedo. So they just keep it a secret from the public, but their friends and family do know about this. So Now we'll be moving on to the sports festival, where the first event is a training. No, not the training. The first event is the race, and once everybody is about to run, Shoto freezes the ground, but Albedo sees that he's about to freeze the ground, and as President Mike says go, Albedo immediately flies up into the air and just starts flying towards just dashes towards the ground and then starts running, with Shoto, Bakugo, and everybody else right behind her as Momo charges up. I say she can control about 20% of One For All right now. So Momo uses 20% of One For All to start running. And Momo is actually keeping quite close behind Albedo. And the first obstacle they encounter are the robots from the entrance exam, as Albedo summons her axe and simultaneously deals with all of them. And President Mike says, "Hey, Aizawa, isn't that one of your students?" As he confirms this, saying, "Yeah, that is Albedo Yaoyorozu of Class 1A. And Mike then asks what her quirk is, and Aizawa says that her quirk is Succubus, which essentially allows her to increases her endurance, her strength, her speed, and all that. And it also allows her to summon weapons, summon defensive capabilities, and charm anybody, which a lot of pros hear this and are quite impressed with her quirks, capabilities. And Midnight already knows about this, so she's not that shocked. So as they make it to the second obstacle, which I believe is the canyon, Albedo just flies over it. Momo jumps from the rock columns to the other ones, and everybody makes it past them as they did in Canon. And as they're continuing to running, they then reach the minefield. Now, Albedo is having to tread a lot. Can't just fly up above this because she wants a challenge, so she decides to run through the minefield, but doing it in a way where she won't touch any of the mines, and it looks like she's just dancing around them. So Albedo then continues to run as everybody else makes it through. Bakugo flies over the mines and Todoroki freezes them. And Momo just jumps over them. And as they're running to the end of it, Albedo, and here are the placements. Albedo in first place, Todoroki in second, Momo in third, and Bakugo in fourth, and everybody else gets their placements in canon. So, once they finish, they then move on to the cavalry battle, to where Momo asks Albedo if she could be on her team, and Mei Hatsume, and Froppy, and Tokiyami join up as well. I think that's a bit too much. So Froppy doesn't join her team, but Tokiyami does. And the cavalry battle goes nearly the same as canon, except that Albedo keeps the 1 million points headband, as her and Hatsume, as due to Momo having One For All, Hatsume's support items, and Albedo's defensive capabilities, they managed to keep every team away from them, and keep the 10 million points, keeping them in first, Bakugo's team in third, Shoto's team in second, and Shinso's team in fourth. And then they move on to the tournament brackets, And the first fight is Shinso versus Albedo. And before they fight, Shinso tries to get Albedo to say something so he can brainwash her and get her to walk out of the arena. But Albedo knows his mind games because she's done them before in Bakugo, during when they were, no, not Bakugo, I mean Kirishima, when they were training. And Albedo essentially charms Shinso and tells him to walk out of the arena. And Shinso does so, leading Albedo to win her first match. And all the fights ended in the first round, and in the first bracket of the tournament finishes as they do in canon. And the next one is Shoto versus Albedo. Now, Momo's fight ends differently, as Momo wins her fight against Tokoyami due to 1-for-all, and in the second bracket, it is Albedo versus Shoto. And before the fight, Shoto says that he plans on using his full power against her. And Albedo says, "Good, I've been wondering what a fight between the two of us would look like." As when they get into the arena, Shoto then sends a wave of ice at Albedo, which she blocks with the Wall of Jericho. And the ice just almost breaks through, just like a tiny bit of the ice breaks through, but not all of it. And then Albedo tries to go in for a sweep, like a leg sweep, which Shoto goes to counter with a blast from his hot fire, but Albedo then summons her axe and slashes at the air, causing the fire to basically disperse and go out. And as Albedo continues her fight with Shoto, this fight goes on for about an hour, with the same things happening each time. But then when they get to the end of it, Shoto then uses his finishing attack that he did in the sports festival against the Midoriya Cannon. But this time, it actually misses Albedo, and Albedo wins with an uppercut to the jaw, knocking Todoroki out of the arena. And Endeavor is looking at this and is disappointed that Shoto lost to somebody with a quirk like hers, and thinks that he should be training her instead of Shoto. So, as that match finishes, and Momo wins against Uraraka and then beats Bakugo in their fight. And the final round is Momo versus Albedo. And that, my dear viewers, is where I'm going to end it off. If you enjoy the series, please remember to leave a like, and if there are any mistakes, you can correct me, and I will see you all next time.